everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 11th of October 2022 and the global cryptocurrency market is still moving sideways. Now in today's episode, we are very briefly going to touch base upon the inflation numbers. Now the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they are going to be releasing the inflation numbers most likely on the 13th of this month. Based on that, do you guys think that it will have an impact in the price of cryptocurrency market? Now, with midterm elections taking place, I'm pretty much sure that the inflation numbers will have a massive impact in the stock market and also in the global crypto market as well. Extreme left-wing media such as BBC, New York Times and Reuters, they do feel that inflation does have a very strong correlation with the midterm elections which are going to take place in the month of November. As a matter of fact, it's going to take place on the 8th of November. Now listen guys, one thing which I often say is, we live in a world where having a lot of information is not important. Having information from the first sources. Now regarding inflation, what I would really recommend you guys to do is go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. That is the first source of information that does give you accurate information so far as inflation is concerned. And how will that impact the price of cryptocurrencies? So on the 13th, it's going to be really interesting to see what the new inflation numbers are. Now in today's episode, I'm also going to very briefly discuss Bitcoin Magazine's article which talks about how a right-wing politician from South Carolina has gone to El Salvador, and the whole idea was that he wanted to learn what did El Salvador do and what the country's state is regarding Bitcoin accepting as a legal tender. At least there's some good initiative trying to learn Bitcoin's adoption in another country, so definitely brilliant move. Now in today's episode, I'm also going to be discussing the European Commission. Now what they plan to do is they plan to study a real-time monitoring on DeFi activities. Now this is a bit strange because the volume of DeFi is ridiculously low. As a matter of fact, in yesterday's episode, I did talk about is DeFi is dead. Now regarding Ethereum, there is some massive news. Well, it is kind of positive news because it has reached a new all-time high matrix, and this is to do with new addresses. And Ethereum saw a new matrix on the 8th of October, so we're going to be exploring that in today's episode. Now regarding UAE, I have two news as well, and both the news have to do with non-fungible token. The first one is the Dubai police, and they have released a new set of NFTs called as Ghiath, and this is linked to luxury smart petrol. And a few months ago, I also talked about the Dubai police. What they wanted to do is they wanted to release the second batch of NFTs, which they apparently did yesterday, and 170 people did get the second batch of the Dubai police non-fungible tokens. And the second news is all the way from Abu Dhabi, and this is to do with Hub 71, and they are also releasing an NFTs, and what they claim to be is that it's going to be the world's first utility NFT and called as Lovely Humans. So we're going to be exploring all those things in today's episode. So welcome everyone, it's 8 you're in Dubai and you're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East and the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. And every Fridays, guys, I do have an episode focusing only on Metaverse, called as Metaverse Everything, where we solely focus on Metaverse, so please check out those episodes as well. And the format for Metaverse Everything podcast is completely different. I also tend to publish a daily and weekly report via my LinkedIn profile, so please follow me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is in the show notes below. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called Rise in the Obstacle Course Race. And Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. Next, Vertex Events have organized the first ever blockchain summit in the history of the World Expo on 10th to 11th of October 2021 at Dubai Expo 2022. Now they are planning to organize a 2-day blockchain summit in 2022 on the 14th and 15th of October at Grand Hyatt Dubai UAE. And Blockchain Dubai Summit is one of the most innovative and interactive summits in the Middle East. Industry leaders from the world of blockchain, digital assets will gather to discuss advantages of blockchain, crypto, DeFi, NFT and Metaverse, a brilliant event to network with leading personalities in the space. There are a couple of packages and opportunities for sponsorship, so click on the link below to know everything about Vertex Events, and the website is vertexgroups.ae, or also drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, since we've taken care of that, let's look at the price of the global crypto market. And to be honest, October is not looking good for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The entire global crypto market is moving sideways. The global crypto market is at $934.09 billion, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 1%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $47.60 billion. Now since the last 24 hours it is up by 44.26%. The total volume in DeFi is currently at $3.13 billion. And in today's episode, I'm also going to be talking about the European Commission, and they want to do further analysis on DeFi protocols, and they do have a tender. And listen guys, if you're an analytical firm, the cutoff date for that is the 1st of December 2022. So I'll be exploring that when I'll be discussing the European Commission's report. Now going back to the DeFi volume, the total value locked is $54.78 billion, and MakerDAO accounts for 13.84%, with $7.58 billion locked in MakerDAO protocol, and DeFi accounts for 6.57% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now let's quickly look at the volume of stablecoins. This once again guys is ridiculously low. The volume of stablecoins is at $44.69 billion. If you look at the macro level snapshot of the global cryptocurrency market, think of this guys. The total crypto market volume is $47.60 billion, and out of that $47.60 billion, stablecoin accounts for $44.69 billion. This is absolutely ridiculous. So it looks like stablecoins is turning out to be a safe haven for cryptocurrencies. I might even go ahead and say that stablecoins is turning out to be a safe haven for the entire monetary system, and this is definitely not ideal. And out of the $44.69 billion, Tether USDT accounts for $35.06 billion, Circle's USDC accounts for $3.17 billion, and Binance USD accounts for $5.81 billion, and the total volume of stablecoin accounts for 91.20% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now let's quickly look at the market share, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market share is at $369 billion, whereas Ethereum's is less than 50%. It's down to $160 billion. And Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $25.9 billion. It just might reach probably $26 billion in the next few minutes. And Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $8.4 billion. And the dominance once again is pretty much the same for the past 2 weeks. Bitcoin's dominance is at 39.50% and Ethereum's dominance is at 17.20%. And what I tend to do, guys, I tend to look at 3 pieces of information when I'm looking at the cryptocurrency price-related information. I look at coin market cap, I look at CoinGecko, and I also tend to look at Messari as well. So I try to compare all of these 3 datas. Now let's quickly look at the smart contract platform and let's compare the market share of the top 5 smart contract platforms. Ethereum is still leading at $160 billion, whereas Binance BNB is at $43.49 billion, Cardano is at $13.91 billion, and Solana, which is a centralized blockchain, is at $11.48 billion, and Polkadot is at $7.31 billion. And one question which I asked you guys yesterday as well, 3 to 5 years down the line, which smart contract platform do you guys think will be in the top 2? I have this feeling that it just might be Ethereum or Cardano, but I could be 100% wrong. Now let's look at the price of the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently at $19,139. Now surprisingly, since the last 4 weeks, I must say that the price of Bitcoin is relatively stable. It has been hovering between the $19,000 to $20,000 mark, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 1.39%, and since the last 7 days it is down by 2.02%. Ethereum has been going down ever since the merge date, and Ethereum price is at $1,293, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 1.83%, and since the last 7 days it is down by 1.79%. Binance Coin is currently at $272, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 1.88%, and since the last 7 days it is down by 4.74%. So those were the snapshot of the global crypto market as of 11th of October. And mind you guys, I'm looking at the price at roughly 4 a.m. Gulf Standard Time, so the numbers might be different. Let's say if you're in America, these numbers might resemble the numbers still on the 10th of October. Now the massive news that will take place towards the end of this week, that is the inflation numbers. And the inflation numbers will be out on the 13th of October. Now listen guys, there is only one source of information where you need to check the inflation numbers, and that website is Bureau of Labor Statistics or BLS.gov. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will issue its September report on producer prices or wholesale inflation and more tomorrow, and the day after, that is on the 13th of October, the inflation numbers will be out. So go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. The official link is bls.gov. Now if you go to the website, there is also a list of dates that actually tell you when the CPI numbers will be out for the rest of the year. Now what are your predictions so far as the inflation numbers are concerned, and how will that affect the crypto market? Mention your comments in the comment section below. Now with the midterm elections, will that have an impact on the CPI data, that is the Consumer Price Index, which resembles the inflation numbers? Now listen guys, the extreme left-wing media such as BBC, the New York Times and Reuters all agree that inflation will have a strong link to midterm elections next month. So could it be possible that because of the midterm elections, the inflation numbers is manipulated? I definitely am hoping that's not the case. My message guys from today's podcast is, when you're looking at inflation numbers, avoid looking at mainstream media such as BBC, New York Times, CNBC, or pretty much any mainstream media. Rather, go to the official channel, that is the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, read through the information and then make up your own decision. And one thing guys which I often say is, we live in a world where having loads of information is not important. Having information from the 4 sources. Now if you're following me on LinkedIn, I have provided 3 articles One is by BBC, one is by New York Times, and the third one is from Reuters. And if you read through the article, you can clearly tell how they have manipulated the data, and they are showing that the Democrats are really eager and pumped up to vote for the Democratic Party. Now this is misleading and incorrect information. That's why I'm saying, guys, go to the official channel, that is the Bureau of Labor Statistic websites, read through the inflation numbers, and then make up your own mind. CoinDesk has provided an article with reference to inflation that states that Bitcoin and Ethereum has traded flat ahead of the inflation report, and the FOMC is widely expected to raise the interest rate by another 75 basis points for a fourth consecutive time. Now listen, guys, it's going to be very possible that based on the inflation numbers, Jerome Powell will increase the interest rate for 75 basis points for the consecutive fourth time, and that is not good for the stock market and not good for the cryptocurrency sector as well. Now the final quarter of 2022 and the global crypto market is moving sideways, and one thing which I'm worrying is that stable coins are turning out to be a safe haven. So stable coins do account for over 92%, over 93% of the entire global cryptocurrency market. The volume is ridiculously low. That is a really fearsome thing. And one thing which I keep saying on every podcast is, if these two volumes are ridiculously low, it makes it so much easier for the central banks all over the world to promote central bank digital currencies. And in yesterday's episode, I talked about the Reserve Bank of India. What they are going to tell people is, people who are not involved in cryptocurrencies, that central bank digital currency is using blockchain technology. Now, in the purest form of open blockchain, none of the central bank digital currencies are following the principles of open blockchain. That's one of the reasons why it's so critical that the volume of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies do actually surpass that of stable coins. Now I'd like to talk about a beautiful article which is written by Bitcoin Magazine. And the reason why I wanted to share this because there are different opinions so far as politics and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption is concerned. The left wing is generally not in favor of Bitcoin, open source, freedom and cryptocurrencies. And they are the ones who are in favor of central bank digital currencies. Right-wing politicians and Republicans, on the other hand, are definitely in favor of Bitcoin, freedom of speech, and open source, and they are definitely against central bank digital currencies as well. So the news is that a right-wing politician and Republican and a group of people did go to El Salvador to understand what El Salvador has done by making Bitcoin a legal tender. So the article explains that a South Carolina delegation made up of a diverse group of business leaders, rural healthcare officials, and individuals interested in the expansion of Bitcoin, including State Treasurer Curtis Loftus Jr., recently returned from a trip to El Salvador, the first country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. So definitely brilliant move. And the whole idea was that they wanted to try to understand what were the benefits and what were the drawbacks of making Bitcoin a legal tender. And Dennis Fusulatis, who's the president of the South Carolina Emerging Technology Association, has said some really positive things. And the initiative to go out and understand and learn what are the challenges, what are the positive things by making Bitcoin a legal tender, was taken by a Republican and right-wing politician. So definitely brilliant news. Now guys, let me talk about some news regarding Ethereum. And I have two news to talk about. The one news is not so good and the other one is definitely positive. Now let's talk about the not so good news. Decrypt has reported that European Commission plans to study real-time monitoring of DeFi activity on Ethereum, and this at a macro level is definitely not ideal. Now if you go to the European Commission website, they have some more information on the study, and the study focuses on the legal, economical, financial and technical aspects of DeFi. Now they have put up a tender, and the final date for the tender is 1st of December 2022. Now listen guys, if you are working for an analytical firm who does a lot of analysis on DeFi, this is a great opportunity for you to team up with European Commission. Now the article states that the idea for doing this study is to develop, deploy and test the technological solutions for embedded supervision on DeFi or decentralized finance. Now this at a macro level is definitely not ideal, considering the fact that what happened to Tornado Cash and how the Treasury of Department decided to ban a protocol. It is definitely not ideal, but Circle's director of UE policy does feel that this is a good move and it would be quite impactful. So again, guys, you need to understand why was Bitcoin created. Bitcoin was created so there is a separation between money and the state, so that governments cannot do such things and the transactions only happen peer-to-peer. But it might take a couple of decades for us to receive a complete separation between money and the state. Now let's talk about some positive news regarding Ethereum. Now Ethereum marks the highest growth rate in 2022, and Bitcoin.com has published an article that Ethereum has marked another milestone following the upgrade, with the largest single growth day recorded so far in 2022. So the news is that Ethereum saw a surge of new addresses created on the 8th of October, with 135,780 new Ethereum addresses popping on the day on that network. So on 8th of October, 135,780 new Ethereum addresses were created, and this is 11.1% more network growth than the next highest of 2022, which happened on the 3rd of January. So looks like Ethereum is definitely gaining a lot of mainstream momentum. Now guys, let's talk about two news regarding UAE. But before we move on to two crypto and blockchain news regarding UAE, I have two news regarding obstacle course race in UAE. The first news is about Spartan race, and they have a massive event in December, the World Championship, and this is the second time they have the World Championship event in Abu Dhabi. And guys, I have a standalone episode with Spartan Race founder Joe Cena talking about Spartan Race NFT. And Sean, who's the Chief Technology Officer, was also in the podcast. And Calvin, who's one of the OGs in the NFT space, was at the podcast as well. So we discussed from a business point of view, why did Spartan Race decide to go ahead and launch its NFT, what were the challenges, and quite a lot more. So please check out those episodes. It is a standalone episode talking more about NFTs and not so much regarding obstacle course race. And the second message is also about obstacle course race and my favorite one, that is Tough Mudder. And listen guys, I'm on a mission to do my 100th Tough Mudder, so check both the messages now. The first message is from Spartan. Now Spartan is a global fitness brand with 10 million strong community. They create transformational events, experiences, products and content to help people, companies and team tear down boundaries and expand what they believe to be possible. From day one, nearly 2 decades ago, they've been champions of human transformation, and they live to help people get outside, eat healthy, and develop habits that lead to a life of constant progress. With families of brands, they push people from every corner of the globe outside the comfort zone and immerse them in a world of tough fitness and elite sports. Now they do this because you can face and overcome adversity head on, and your potential is limitless. Now this year in December, in Abu Dhabi, the land of Gazelle, thousands of athletes and spectators will gather at the metropolis in the desert to compete for Spartan immortality. This is a unique opportunity to watch the world's best obstacle course race athletes compete for world championship and have your group conquer the course themselves. The massive event takes place from the 2nd till the 4th of December this year. Now for Spartan World Championship, the ticket details and registration to the programs are mentioned in the links below. Now if you are into running, if you are into adventure, and if you are in UAE, you definitely need to check this out. And the second news, guys, is about Tough Mudder. Now listen guys, there are 3 things that I'm extremely passionate about. All 3 of them have some kind of similarity. That is heavy metal, Bitcoin and obstacle course race. Now we've looked at the premier obstacle course race event, that is Spartan Race, which is taking place between the 2nd and 4th of December. But the next one that I'd like to discuss is Tough Mudder. Now Tough Mudder is unique, and I did my very first obstacle course race, that was Tough Mudder. And Tough Mudder obstacles are more fun, more adventurous, and it involves a lot of teamwork. Now the team is putting up an exclusive event in partnership with Abu Dhabi Sports Council, and this event takes place at a unique location at the border of Dubai and Abu Dhabi called as Ghiath. The event takes place on the 23rd of this month, which is less than 2 weeks from now. It's going to be great. It's only 5 kilometers of running with 13 obstacles, and some of the obstacles are really unique and fun. So go to YouTube and just type in Blockness Monster or type in Electroshock Therapy or Pyramid 2.0. You would understand what I'm talking about. So listen guys, do one thing. Click on the link below. Sign up for your very first Tough Mudder event, and you can also use my promo code, which is George25, for a 25% discount. Now if you are into running, if you are into adventure, if you are into obstacle course race, you definitely need to sign up for this event. So go to the website toughmudderarabia.com, and you can also follow them on Instagram. The Instagram handle is toughmudderarabia. Now, since we've taken care of that, let's look at two news regarding UAE, and both of them have to do with non-fungible token. So the first news is regarding Dubai Police. Now listen guys, I did mention about Dubai Police, I believe it was in the month of March or April, where the Dubai Police did promise to announce the second batch of NFTs at the GITEX event. Yesterday was the first day of the GITEX event, and the Dubai Police did release their Ghiath luxury smart patrols as NFTs. So definitely massive event. So at the GITEX event, about 150 people became proud owners of the collection that featured free digital assets symbolizing value of innovation, security and communication, and the Dubai Police released their Ghiath luxury smart patrols as NFTs. Now at collegetimes.com, they did provide some more information. So the news is that the Dubai Police have announced the launch of the luxury smart patrols called as Ghiath as non-fungible digital asset, and the smart patrol features a 360-degree camera, 8 exterior surveillance cameras, and a facial and license plate recognition system. And the second collection was announced yesterday, that is the 10th of October, during the GITEX Global event. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out the official news regarding the Dubai Police NFTs, they often provide the information via the Facebook post. So I'm just going to read out crucial information via the Facebook post. So the news is that Dubai Police releases Ghiath luxury patrols as NFT in its second collection, and the Dubai Police General Command has announced the launch of the luxurious Ghiath patrol as a non-fungible digital asset in its second collection, which is only dedicated to luxury patrols. And this announcement came during the first day of GITEX Global 2022 held at the Dubai World Trade Center. His Excellency Major General Khalid Nasir Al-Razouki, Director of the General Department of Artificial Intelligence at Dubai Police, said that this step came in line with the government's directives towards growing interest in digital asset and contributes to attracting those interested in the modern digital trend. He confirmed that Dubai Police is the first government entity in the UAE to create its own digital asset and the first police organization in the world to do so. And Major General Al-Razouki added that the Dubai Police launched earlier this year through social media platforms its first set of non-fungible tokens featuring 150 free digital asset that symbolizes the force's value of innovation, security and communication. So definitely brilliant initiative. And let me give you some more information so far as the asset launch goal is concerned. Major General Al-Razouki indicated that the primary goal is to enable NFT owners to have exclusive access to the latest collections of digital assets and to open doors in front of specialists and those interested in digital assets to communicate with the Dubai Police, as well as provide them with an excellent opportunity to participate in workshops and sessions in the field of digital assets. An NFT is a unit of data stored on a type of digital ledger called as blockchain, and every NFT is a unique copy in itself, containing complete information about the data of creation and the owner. An NFT-related information documented on a blockchain cannot be falsified or copied at all. That's what he added. Now, he also shared some really positive news regarding the global interaction. And listen guys, I do have friends all over the world, even my friends from Manchester, England, some friends from Lithuania, some friends from US and Canada. Even they were aware about the Dubai Police NFTs. And regarding the global interaction, Major General Al-Razouki pointed out that 22.91 million people from all over the globe registered their interest in getting Dubai Police first collection of non-fungible token, which was released by the Dubai Police General Command during the second quarter of this year. Now, it's noteworthy that the 5 most interactive countries with the Dubai Police announcement of the first collection of non-fungible tokens were UAE, Nigeria, India, United States of America, and Saudi Arabia. So definitely brilliant news, and it's news such as this that does bring a lot of attention so far as cryptocurrencies, NFTs, blockchain and Web3 is concerned. So absolutely positive news. Now guys, the second news is also to do with NFTs, and to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised regarding the NFT, and I'm trying to explore what my confusion is. So the news is that Hub 71 startup called GLEAC, which is spelled as G for George, L for Larry, E for Elephant, A for Alpha, C for Charlie, launches world's first utility NFT called as Lovely Humans. So let me try to give you more information about this particular project. Now before that, what is Hub 71? Now Hub 71 is Abu Dhabi's global tech ecosystem that enables founders to build globally enduring homegrown tech companies in any sector by providing access to global markets, a capital ecosystem, a global network of partners, and a vibrant community filled with highly skilled talent governed by forward-thinking regulation. And Hub 71 is backed by a robust network of strategic partners which provide a unique competitive advantage to their startups. Now they have three heavy-duty partners, that is Mudabala, Abu Dhabi Investment Office, and ADGM, that is Abu Dhabi Global Market. Now if you do want to find out more information, the website is hub71.com. And let me try to give you more information regarding the NFTs. So the news is that Hub 71 startup called GLEAC launches world's first utility NFT called as Lovely Humans. Now the winning bidder can use the time with the industry expert to gain work-related knowledge and advice, solve problems, or even try to co-create with new projects. Let me very briefly explain what GLEAC is. Now GLEAC is a Hub 71 startup offering a mentorship network to help people apply human skills through simulated work simulations, announce the launch of the world's first utility NFT called as Lovely Humans. What this NFT does is it allows users one-on-one time with global industry experts for 5 hours. GLEAC recently joined the Hub 71 community, accessing its network of partners and investors, and benefited from its business-friendly environment and strong talent base. Now, so far as NFT is concerned, this first of its kind use of NFT builds on Abu Dhabi and UAE's ambition to embrace innovative technologies and be at the forefront exploring transformative concepts to the world. And Salian Della Casa, who's the founder of GLEAC, said, "We are proud to launch a unique patent-pending method that will disrupt the way we exchange knowledge, providing our users with on-demand peer-to-peer and peer-to-expert membership and allowing them to thrive in the workplace." The bidding is going to start on the 15th of October, where users can bid on a Lovely Human NFT for a chance to spend time and be part of a community of well-known leaders, human dynamos, and game changers. Meanwhile, the exclusive whitelist to access the NFTs before going public is now open, with a few fixed prices NFTs listed at $25,000. Now, $25,000 is quite a lot, and the whitelist access will provide buyers with the opportunity to resell the artwork of the expert's image, receive additional time with experts in 2023, gain VIP access to a community group with the industry experts, the ability to tokenize and monetize a conversation with experts, and collaborate them on the projects. So the idea does look absolutely brilliant and probably a good use case of NFT as well. But what happens to the NFT after the peer-to-peer membership is done? The fact that the NFT is valid only for 5 hours, I really am not sure what happens to the NFT after the peer-to-peer membership is done. Can you resell it? And what access would the new buyers get if they get the new NFT after the 5 hours of mentorship is done? One suggestion what I can think of is, once the buyer of the NFT does get peer-to-peer membership, they could possibly get a certificate stating that they have received mentorship from some of the top experts. And that certificate can also be a part of NFT. That is the only thing that I can think of. And this NFT maybe can be part of the CV. It can be probably updated via LinkedIn and quite a lot more. And I'm really not sure this particular NFT in which protocol is it being built on. Is it built on Ethereum? Is it built on Solana? Or is it built on any other centralized blockchain? I really am not sure. But nonetheless, definitely some kind of news in the NFT world. So that's all for today, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee Update from Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com and check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about metaverse. And if you like listening to this, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. This is followed by 2 news and information related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East from the cryptocurrency world. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Roshan who asks, what's going on with reference to Decentraland's daily active users? Now, this is a brilliant question, Roshan. Now, there was a report which was put out a few days ago, and surprisingly, even I didn't see it. Now, what that report says is that the number of daily active users in Decentraland is only 30, and in certain days it was even less. So what I tried to do, Roshan, is I tried to look at DApp Radar for the information regarding Sandbox as well, and surprisingly, Sandbox was even less, but the transaction volume in terms of dollars for Sandbox was ridiculously high. So guys, listen, if you do want to find out the daily active users, go to dappradar.com and just put in the project, and it tells you the daily transaction volume, it tells you the daily active users, it tells you also the dollar amount that has been transacted in all protocols. Now this is an absolute shocker. Now Decentraland is, if not considered to be one of the top metaverse platforms. Now one thing which I've been saying ever since Decentraland was announced, the user experience is absolutely pathetic. It's going back to 1990s. As a matter of fact, Roshan, I did have an interview with one of the founders from a brilliant protocol called Charmy, and we were discussing about the user experience, and I said that the user experience in Decentraland and Sandbox is going back to 1990s, and actually what he said was the user experience is going back to 1980s, and I have to agree to it, and looks like the general population is also agreeing to it. Now the Decentraland's volume is ridiculously low, and the reason why it has got so much of hype is because of celebrities and influencers and early adopters who are trying to promote Decentraland. And I did have an interview, I believe it was a couple of months ago, with someone from the metaverse industry, and that particular person was saying that, when he attends Decentraland parties and he sees thousands and thousands of people gathered at the event, and at that point of time I told him, which event has he seen thousands and thousands of people? Unfortunately, he was just making up these things. So it's so critical to look at information from the first source. But I do think the reason why Decentraland and Sandbox is in mainstream media is only because of partnership by, let's say, Nike, Adidas. A lot of sporting giants are getting involved in that. That is the only reason why. Apart from that, I definitely don't see any use case of, Decentraland or Sandbox. And one thing, Roshan, which I did mention on my Metaverse Everything podcast on the 7th of October, one of the challenges of Metaverse mainstream adoption is user on board, and that's where Meta or Facebook kicks in. Now, you might dislike Facebook, and you might think that whatever protocols that they're doing are not right, but at the end of the day, they have 3.6 active billion users. It becomes so easier for them to transition into Metaverse. Now, if you were to compare the Horizon World platform, it is, if not 100 times better than Decentraland and Sandbox combined. Now, at the GITEX event, one of the chief technology officers or chief operating officers of Sandbox is going to be at that event, and I definitely want to go ahead and ask him this question. But with reference to the daily active users, it is absolute shocker, but to be honest, it is not surprising as well. Yeah, there is another website, Roshan, which you might want to look at, that is called a State of the dApps, and that provides daily active users for all dApps or decentralized applications as well. And you would be surprised that we are still far away from mainstream adoption. Now listen guys, in 2013, I did attend a couple of Bitcoin-related network events. And at that point of time, we were told that we are at a very early stage. Fast forward that to almost a decade in 2022, it's the same narrative. People are still saying we are at a very early stage. This is not true. If you look at the adoption of Instagram or TikTok, they have started only after 2013. And the number of daily active users is probably 100 or 1,000 times much better than Decentraland and Sandbox. So unfortunately, Roshan, there is not much to say apart from the fact that, I agree as to why there are not many users, because the user experience is absolutely horrendous. So that's all for today, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. And in case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com and check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com. And guys, also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes into Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series that you're listening to right now, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.